Hi everybody. I dropped off some books in your mailboxes, and the first one that we're going to read is this one. It says Sticks, Stones, and Straw. It's a safari magazine, and I'm just going to go over in this video the format of each book so that you know. It's going to take us probably a week to read each one, so the books I dropped off for you will keep you busy for a few weeks. If you open to the table of contents, you're going to see that it's going to tell you everything that's in this magazine. Usually the first article, this one says Houses of Sticks, Stones, and Straw. Modern and traditional houses use different materials. It's going to always start off with a non-fiction article, and that's something that's true. It's true facts, and it's giving you information. The next article is usually going to be a fiction story. In this case, it's actually a kind of a humorous story. It's funny. It's about Great-Great-Uncle Wolfie. So it's on the same topic. It's going to have something to do with sticks, stones, and straw, but it's a funny story. The last thing that's going to be in all of these books is a play. So on that day, I'll probably ask you to get someone in your family to do the play with you, and you can assign parts. And even if there's 4 parts and you only find one other person to do it with you, you can each do more than one part. Another neat thing in these, I'm just going to show you, so you'll flip through. This is the non-fiction article. This is the one you're going to actually be reading today. Then this is pretty cool. Everyone has some words, so you can kind of read the word, try to figure out where to divide it. This one I see 2 vowels, so I'm going to divide it between the 2 consonants in the middle and read bamboo. And then I'm going to go through and say, what is bamboo? Do I think it's a boat? Do I think it's a plant? Or do I think it's an animal found in Africa? So you can kind of quiz yourself. And if you go a few pages later, the answers are going to be, in this case, they're about 10 pages later. So the answers to this are always in the book for you to just quiz yourself, and you can double check yourself. But these are important words to understand. The last thing these books have in it is a poem. So on one day, I'm going to ask you to read that poem, not just once, but probably 3 or 4 times, and then finally read it in front of a family member as fluently as you can. So that'll be the day we work on fluency. As you can see, these magazines have a lot in them, and they'll keep you busy all week. So the first article that you're going to read today is that nonfiction article that is Houses of Sticks, Stones, and Straw. And usually the nonfiction article is going to be the trickiest one to read because it's going to have a lot of harder vocabulary in them. So one thing I want you to remember when you're reading this is these are some of the tricky words. Traditional, remember when we're chunking out words, T-I-O-N always says shun. So that word is traditional. And that basically means those type of houses have been around a long time. It's the opposite of modern. Another tricky word in this article is the word ceilings. And that's tricky because usually we think C says K, but when C is followed by an E or an I or a Y, it's actually going to make the S sound. So that word is ceilings. It's going to talk about these ceilings being thatched, and that means that they're made out of straw if they're thatched. And just something that I wanted to review, I know we've worked on it, is that if there's a vowel and an unknown word, we can see how many consonants are in between, and we chunk them between the consonants, and it makes that easier to read. So you can chunk out plaster, and you'll find out in what country they make houses with plaster. The last thing I'm going to go over with you before you start to read is some names for the nonfiction article of the countries you're going to read about. One is Samoa in the South Pacific. Another you're going to learn about in Australia are the Aboriginal people. And there it talks about nomads, and nomads travel from one place to another and they don't stay in one house for long, so you'll learn about their houses. And another country that you might not have heard of is Pakistan, and that's on this page. And I know everyone knows about Africa, so you'll know how to read that word. So I really hope you enjoy reading this. Check in with Google Classroom every day and you'll find out which article to read in this for that day of the week. Thanks guys, miss you.